So traditional media has sort of evolved over the past sort of 10 years or so, I would have thought, to the point where people actually want to watch video content in a different way. Social media has pretty much changed the way people consume content. When social media started to come to the fore for video content, there were a lot of people saying, you know, a lot of instructional videos out there, a lot of instructional blogs and opinion pieces out there that were saying, don't forget to film your video in portrait. You know, don't forget to hold your phone like this and hold it steady and do all the things that filmmakers do. And when you film your video, oh, why have you filmed it like this? You're an idiot. What have you done that for? We can't use that anymore. It's social media, the way that people have consuming video and consuming content has just basically overruled that sort of premise, to the point where you had a couple of options. Basically, you filmed your content twice, one in landscape and one in portrait, and you got what you wanted. You filmed it once in portrait because you were doing it for social media, but not for traditional media like TV or film or even YouTube. You stuck the bars at either side, which sort of gave you that look of the video being zoomed in on itself, but it was actually portrait. And you sort of like, you made adjustments like that. You see a lot of that happening for videos on YouTube, which are like fail videos or that kind of thing, where they've got like these like blurred sort of stuff at the side. Sometimes you see it on news and what have you. But it was effectively an onerous task in order to be able to change the aspect ratio. It's quite a time-consuming thing to do. That has all changed. It is now very simple to change the aspect ratio of a video into portrait, and it doesn't lose the content and the message of the video that you're trying to make. And that's done through a thing called Adobe Auto Reframe. So let's jump into Adobe and let's just see how that actually works. Okay, so we're in Premiere Pro and we've got a clip that is what we're going to use to create our portrait aspect ratio. This is a 2019 Christmas vlog that I did. It's got several different aspects in it. So there's aerial footage, there's me talking to the camera, there's also me shots of me on a skateboard, etc. So I want to try and keep all that as I can in the video. So what do? So we've got our video in our timeline. We've exported that out as a YouTube video, so it's 16:9 normal aspect ratio that you would get for widescreen, and it's all good and all going. But we want to stick it somewhere else. So what can we do? So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to our project bin here. And as you can see, we've got our timeline, which is what we've got clicked at the moment. So we're going to select that. And then we're going to right click on it or control click. And we're going to go up to Auto Reframe Sequence. So it's about sort of midway through the menu system. So we click Auto Reframe Sequence. We get another pop-up box that comes up. And this pop-up box has a couple of different things in there. So we can rename it. So we can put that as a sequence title if we want to call it something completely different. We can select the aspect ratio. In this case, it's defaulted to square, which is 1:1, so that'd be great for Instagram. But in my case, I'm going to drop to here, and I'm going to say I want to do it as vertical 9:16. So that's the opposite of what we are at the moment. So I'm going to click vertical 9:16, and we've got motion preset. So we've got slow motion, default, and faster motion. So if you've got fast camera whips and so on and so forth, you're going to want to select fast motion. If you just want to leave it at default because it's sort of in between, you can do that, and it will just sort of like compensate for the sort of medium speed motion. Or if it's all slower motion, which this particular vlog actually is, it's basically slow drone footage and then static shots from the camera effectively being held in front of me. So I'm going to click slow motion. I don't need to nest these clips, so they don't replace any content or adjustments because there's no special effects in there. But if you want to keep the special effects, you can nest the clips and it'll keep the motion adjustments. So if you've made any speed ramping, etc., etc., you would select nest clips, and that would then nest them out, and you keep all those effects as well. But in this case, there isn't any of that, so I'm just going to leave it as don't nest clips, and I'm going to click create. And once I click create, you'll see it's changed. It's now going to analyze it, and from that point on, we just wait until it analyzes. Once it's finished, we'll then be able to play it back. Okay, so it's finished analysing, and we can just give it a quick playthrough now and can see what it's done. So it is going through the footage, no problem whatsoever. It's all pretty much roughly where we want it to be. First shot of me, it's managed to pick up that I'm there, centered me. The skateboard, it's kept me in the center of the frame as well, along with me again. It will just continually analyze, as you can see, because I've not rendered this clip, so it will be analyzing away just to make sure that it keeps everything in the correct place. But it will let you play through it even though it's analyzing it, just so you can see what's actually happening. And it seems to be doing everything it can. Right off the bat, I can see a couple of things that I want to just adjust slightly. I think that would probably be back here at the beginning. I just would like it to be a bit further over that way. So to do that, what you can do is you just go and you select your clip like you would ordinarily. Go to effects control, and you can see from here it's put in all the keyframes for keeping the video in the center of the, basically adjusting it so that you make sure it keeps it where you want it to be. So what you can do is you can zoom into these keyframes, and you can just say, right, okay, what I actually want to do is I want to click on that keyframe there, and I just want to move the position of that across slightly rather than it being near the edge. I'd rather it be sort of middle of the frame. And then if we move to this one here, just click on that, we can then shift that across as well, like so. And then if we move to that one, we can see it just shifts a little bit across. We're just going to shift it across slightly. So when we play it, got this traveling across the middle of the lake rather than across one side to the left of it. It's traveling straight across the middle, and you can also allow it to move if you want to, which is what I'm doing here now. I'm allowing it to shift about and do its own thing again, and it will then focus on the most appropriate thing that it feels is what the most appropriate thing is in the frame. You can take the video that you've shot and you can pump it out into several different formats. So you can have it 1 by 1, you can have it 16 by 9, you can have it 9 by 16, you can have it in different aspect ratios going along with those, and you get it looking absolutely as it should do on the platform that you're putting it out on, but it contains the same message and it contains the same artisticness that there is, that you want it to be, that you want it to have, and it doesn't lose anything from it. But you haven't had to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours trying to reorganize how this thing looks frame by frame in order to be able to get it out, or you've lost a whole demographic of people on YouTube who won't watch it because it's not the right aspect ratio, or you can't put it out on social media because it's too big or too wide, or nobody's gonna watch it because they're gonna scroll straight past it and think, nah, I don't want to see that. And it just makes our job as creators and your job as a creator a much easier thing to do. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it, hope it was useful. Put it to use. Let's see some of those videos on Instagram, see some of them on Twitter and Facebook and what have you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.